What is happening, YouTube world and YouTube tribe, both old and new? Welcome back. Thank you for enjoying me. Welcome back. Give yourself a round of applause. You came back. No, just playing. I appreciate you guys coming back. You don't have to, but I appreciate it. As you know, as the title says, this is a review for the Suicide Squad. Now, the Suicide Squad that I recently found this out. I didn't know. For me, I just thought, okay, this was a sequel to the previous Suicide Squad movie. This is actually a standalone. This was actually a standalone sequel, meaning that you didn't. That for those who don't know what standalone sequels are, I pretty much assume that all you guys know, or majority of you guys know what that means. But just for the sake of it, a standalone movie is basically a sequel. A standalone sequel is a sequel to a movie that you don't have to see the first movie to see this one. This one entirely doesn't have. I want to say entirely. Like 95% of it doesn't have nothing to do with the previous movie. Only except that some of the like at least 3 of the characters from the original movie returns. I think Captain Boomerang, Harley Quinn, and Rick Flag and Viola Davis, Amanda Waller. So you got four characters from the first one who returns, and pretty much everybody else in the Suicide Squad lineup is new. You got Bloodsport, you got King Shark, Peacemaker, Weasel, Polka Dot Man, Rick Flag. Who else? Who else did you have in there? And of course, we know Amanda Waller. Ratcatcher 2, not 1, but Ratcatcher 2. Like I said, Captain Boomerang. Let's see, Mailing and G. You got. Oh no, I didn't really click on that. I was trying to. You got the Thinker 2, who joins the lineup. Who else? We had Blackguard, Javelin. Magal. I forgot that was her name, Magal. Like I said, you had the Thinker. Let's see who else was. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was like I think it was a TDK. It was some more people, but basically, like I was like the one thing I will say that the majority of the people that we saw in the movie, like they showed a whole lot of members of the Suicide Squad. Half of them were just like camo and cannon fodder to set up the movie, while the other half was actually the legit team that would be following throughout the movie. But yeah, the government. This is a synopsis for the movie. The government sends the most dangerous supervillains in the world, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, King Shark, Harley Quinn, and others, to the remote enemy-infused island of Corto Maltese. Armed with high-tech weapons, they trek through the dangerous jungle on a search and destroy mission with only Colonel Rick Flag on the ground to make them behave. Now, like I said, there are 2 teams that there are so many. I don't think that would be spoiled. I don't think I'll spoil anything about saying that, but there are 2 teams of Task Force X or the Suicide Squad. There are 2 teams. You got one led by Colonel Rick Flag, and then you gonna have one that's being led by Bloodsport. But how we get there is the unique journey this movie takes. I'm trying to find the right words to say this without going into spoilers, but so automatically there's this situation in Corto Maltese that Amanda Waller finds that it deems necessary to bust out 2 teams of Task Force X, and you find out there's a purpose for one team over the other. This movie is chock full of secrets. I put it to you that way. Like how they say the Sesame Street, the word of the day is such and such. The word of the day, I should say, for this movie, the words is secrets and betrayal. keep those words in mind because there's a whole bunch of secrets and a betrayal. But yeah, this movie is very gory. It's very R-rated. I mean, it's very gory. There's even nudity in this movie. Believe it or not, there's nudity in this movie. But it's also some comedy and some comedic relief. The actors and people was fine. But yeah, so they go to Court of Maltese. They not being told whatever. They're not being told a lot, but they are told that this is a top secret mission. The usual mumbo jumbo. You try to abandon the mission or do anything other than what I tell you to, I will detonate the bomb in your head. So they get there. A team converge and takes on the mission, and they find out that basically their mission is to go to this, as we heard in the trailer, Project Starfish. Also, we all know who the Project Starfish is referring to, the supervillain Starro. I think this is Starro's first live action appearance. So yeah, Starro serves as the main antagonist of the film, as you want to say. He's like the villain that makes them all want to basically be superheroes. Harley Quinn explains to that they try to figure out how she's back a part of Task Force Exit. Usually that would mean she would have to get sent to jail, and she basically being Harley Quinn committing the crime, which landed her back in the clutches of Amanda Waller. So this mission takes them to Court of Maltese. We meet a rebel. The Court of Maltese is in the midst of a civil war. There was a government there that was kind hearted and was for the people, but some evil government conspirators, they wanted to be in control because they was tired of the good government family that was kind-hearted in nature. So they publicly executed them and took over. And that's one of the reasons why Amanda Waller is sending the Suicide Squad in there, because the new people, that this new regime is anti-American. So the truce between them, it probably won't hold up for long, because they want to use Starro for a legit world purpose. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what else I could say without getting into too much spoiler territory. It takes you on a good adventure. You got, you have there's a reason why Bloodsport I can never say his name right. Mr. Elba himself playing Bloodsport, and originally I found out too, just a fun fact. He was I remember I kept hearing people say it, and when it came time to watch the movie, I already knew he was playing the character Bloodsport. But originally he was I didn't know, and then I read it. Originally he was meant to replace Will Smith's Deadshot. He was meant to be a returning Deadshot, but played by him. But they wanted Will Smith to be able to return to the series, so they changed it around from him being Deadshot to being the character Bloodsport. And, and just like we heard in the trailer, he's in jail for putting Superman in the ICU with a kryptonite bullet. It's a little joke in there how basically Amanda Waller presents him, and she presents him as a man who a trained military man with the great assets. He's been trained as a child to do what he does, and blah blah blah. And that's the line she gives for that's her presentation for him. And then we meet John Cena's Peacemaker, and she says the exact same thing. He's a man with exceptional military skills, and he's been trained as a child to do what he does best, and blah blah blah. And he's like, "Are you having a laugh at me?" Like, what? She was like, and Amanda's like, "What you mean?" And she's like, He basically does what I do." He said, and Peacemaker's like, I'll do it better. You know, they had like this macho, manly contest of who could do their job better. Some funny stuff, but yeah, we get to then the team converges on Quarter Montees. You know, we see them with Whip Flag try to save Harley Quinn, who's been captured. Like I said, there's a lot of blood and gore and nudity, so be prepared for that. It's very heavily R-rated. Yeah, so they converge. They end up finding the Thinker. You know, secrets. Some secrets are revealed, and some funny phobias. Like, the one thing I will say too that I liked about the movie was that both times it's two teams. Remember I said it was two teams, and both of these teams was put together by Amanda Waller. And in both times, Amanda Waller did not check. It's like she basically only read the good things about the people. The good, like not the good things, but like, you know, the good skill sets they have, and she did not read about their weakness. Like one character in the first team, she didn't know they couldn't swim, and that's how the first team, that's how they entered the island of Corto Maltese. They entered the island via the water, and you know, Rick Flair's like, nobody checked to see if this guy couldn't swim, and then the second team, there's a character who has a fear, who has a rat phobia, and that person is on the team. That second team composed of, has Rat Catcher too in there. The daughter, a Rat Catcher, and she, Rat Catcher's like, wait a minute, you have a thing about rats, and you're on a team with me. But he's like, well, I didn't choose it, did I? You know, he gets mad, but yeah, it's just funny. It's a whole funny scene. It makes you sit there, but like, whoa, did you really just put two teams together and didn't know nothing? And, you know, even when they even informed Amanda Waller, she's like, what? She's like, why didn't you even tell me that you had a rat phobia? He said, I'm a da-da-da. You know, why would I tell you my lot of business? Then he shrieks like a girl. But, yeah, so, you know, it's just little stuff like that made the movie cool. Man, it's like it's a lot of stuff I can't get into because it's spoilery, but the movie overall was decent. See what else did they do story-wise that I could mention. Yeah, there's some secrets involved. Of course, they eventually find out that Project Starfish was none other than Starro the Conqueror. Starro, like I said, was the main villain of the movie. They found out that Starro was captured and floating in space. They found him floating in space, and he was captured and brought to Earth, where he was experimenting on. And you find out that he could send out these little mini versions of him. You thought, at first the people thought that was like his offspring, like he was having little babies, but they really wasn't babies. They were just like mini versions of himself that could attach to a host and act like as his mouth conduit while we only hear him roar. When he roared, he only roars to us, but he could use us to talk in human form. That's how he used to talk. And they're like an extension of himself. Whatever happens to them happens to the people he captured. There's one point in which a character melts half his leg off, and you see when he starts roaring in pain, the people he captured, they hold their leg and start roaring in pain as well. But yeah, there's blunders. There's even a scene with a camp when they go to this camp and things happen, and they went to the camp to save a person, only to realize that the people in the camp wasn't bad people, but they helped this person, and it was like, oh, ooh. Yeah, okay. We made a mistake. And, the person's like, wait a minute. Why didn't my people alert me to your presence? They like, what people? There was nobody here. Yeah, they try to come up with excuse like, yeah, when we got here, there was nobody here, the people must have left, and took a break. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. You see, and then you see the person. He's like, oh God, oh my God. And then they go outside and see the car, and he's just like, yeah, they're. He just looks, and then he's like, yeah, they are big idiots, but they get the job done. But other than that, yeah, the movie was good. Like it was an awesome movie. It's a great time. Great. This is one of those things where, like I said, with the Jungle Cruise, this is a movie where watching it at home versus watching it at the movie theater. And I said this was another movie to go see at the movie theater. I own the first Suicide Squad movie, so when I can say this with the utmost confidence that I give this movie, I give the Suicide Squad movie. You know what? Yeah. I'll give it. I give it 9 big ups, and that's only 9 big ups just because, to me personally, this movie, which is just called The Suicide Squad versus Suicide Squad, this movie was actually I felt like it was way better than Suicide Squad. And this movie felt way better in like a lot of ways. Like it was a lot more funnier. It was gory the way you would think it was. You got King Shark, you got all these characters, and it should be as gory. The only thing I didn't like was that they killed off so many people that had potentials to be like breakout stars of the new Suicide Squad. They just killed so many people, and it was just a lot. And then it wasn't just at one particular. You go see this movie, it's not just at that one particular point. There's more in this movie, and it's just like Jesus Christ. We already didn't. You already had this. It just was crazy. I think we also got. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was Calendar Man, Batman's enemy, that was taunting Polka Dot Man. But if you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. But I think that was Calendar Man. But yeah, I give it 9 big ups just because it was a decent movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed it way more than I enjoyed the Suicide Squad. And I say this because I have the Suicide Squad, and I only watched that movie once. It was good enough for me to watch and buy, but then I don't watch it no more. I watched it one time, I probably watched it twice. I watched it 2 times. The first, I think I went to the movie theaters to go see it, and then I watched it once I brought it on DVD on Blu-ray. But yeah, the way I recommend you go see this movie, I recommend you go see it in the theater so you get the ambiance. But like I said before, with the Jungle Cruise, unless you got like a nice speaker surround sound, enjoy that home at the comfort of your leisure. But honestly, get out, go get some popcorn, and sit down and watch this movie. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out if I got anything else to say. Yeah, it was overall a funny movie. It was great. It was a great movie. It was way better. This movie does have a post credit. Has some post credit scenes. I think I can't even. Well, I want to say that it's only really one post credit scene, and they have and then like the other, I guess you could consider the first one post credit scene, but it's like it's technically not. It's technically not. The credits come. This first one is before the credits, and then the second one is, of course, is the post credits. But yeah, it's 2 post credit scenes that you gotta watch out for. It reveals that a couple of the deaths did get reversed. I ain't gonna tell you who, but a couple of the deaths did get reversed. But other than that, yeah, the movie is great. Go check it out. That's all I got to say about it. Overall, great movie. I enjoyed it. I will be getting this when it comes out on DVD. But like I said, the difference between the 2 movies is that I'll probably watch this movie a lot more than I will the first Suicide Squad movie. But that's all I got. If you enjoyed this video, then you know what to do. hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my review videos from beginning of whatever I started out reviewing to now. I got so many review videos. But yeah, check that out if you want to. Also, if you enjoyed this video so much that you like, man, I want to support this guy, I want to support the channel, then hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification button so you always get notified when I drop videos. Subscribe to my channel, please. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. I am out. I might be back tomorrow with some Days Gone gameplay, but who knows? It is. We'll see how the day goes. But as always, enjoy. Peace.